good morning, everyone, and good morning on a day of justice. Or, well, not justice yet, but hey, it's as good as we're going to get right now. The Durham Report has come out, and the Durham Report did something very interesting. The Durham Report vindicated everything we've been saying for, since 2016 or something like that? Bit of background on this. It turns out that the Clinton campaign and the Obama administration and Biden and many top level intelligence officials, including James Comey, and the media establishment and many members of our government colluding with big tech, all worked together on a giant coup d'etat and tried overthrowing the sitting government of the United States. Unfortunately, Durham doesn't explain it in these terms, but that's exactly what happened, because what did they do? They fabricated the fake Trump-Russia narrative. They pushed it through every branch through the whole government. Then they disseminated it to the media and then censored, attacked, and tried undermining every single person who said the opposite, who tried saying what was actually happening. Myself included. In fact, the label of Epoch Times as being a conspiracy, I think they call us a QAnon conspiracy news outlet, was based heavily on our reporting on what we called Spygate. You might remember we did the big infographic, like 2017 or 2018? I can't remember the year now. We did that big infographic on how the whole scandal went down. So what exactly took place? Well, they fabricated the whole story. It turns out they hired it was opposition research. The Clinton campaign and the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, worked hand in hand to hire an opposition research group to fabricate false information against Donald Trump, claiming he was colluding with Russia and that he hired hookers to pee on Obama's bed and all kinds of weird stuff like that. I mean, who comes up with this stuff, honestly? like who comes up with that kind of stuff? Like, regardless of everything being fake, what kind of a twisted mind would concoct something like that? Anyways, not only did they concoct something like that, but then they went and spread it through our government, gave it to the intel agencies, leaked it to the media, and then used big tech to censor everyone who said otherwise, and then used the government to launch investigations, including surveillance, against Donald Trump, members of his cabinet, including when he was still a candidate. And then after he took office, they used it to try to remove him from office for his entire presidency, including up to and including the 2020 elections. That fake information was used as a fake scandal to try to falsely accuse the sitting president of something he didn't do, which it turns out they knew all along that he did not do it. At least many of them knew. And what do you call it when frankly, when you create false information to try to prevent people from voting for a political enemy? Well, you call that rigged elections. What do you call it when you try to fabricate information and then weaponize the intelligence agencies and including even the impeachment process to try to remove a sitting president from office? You call that a palace coup. You call that a coup d'etat. You call that banana republic corruption. And what we found in the Durham report is that they did this. They did this knowingly. The FBI threw out precedents and, in terms of the history of how they normally behave, really threw out basic, decent practice and weaponized this information, renewed it, went after Donald Trump in a way that looks like it's not only politically motivated, but frankly looks like we're living in a corrupt banana republic led by a bunch of crazies. Just being blunt. Anyways, here we are. So to all of you out there who knew this from the beginning, cheers to all of you. I know a lot of people actually subscribed to Epoch Times pretty early on because of our Spygate reporting. In fact, Spygate and the infographic we made was one of the biggest things that really revealed the way the whole case worked. Before I go into questions, I'll give you a bit of details on that. It was myself, our former publisher, our chief editor, kind of realizing what the real story was. Basically, this is how the whole thing went down. I did a story about the whole Trump-Russia scandal, and I was noting how, frankly, it looks like a disinformation operation. Not that Trump was engaged in disinformation, but the scandal itself looked like disinformation. I, of course, submitted an article noting some of the weird anomalies in the intelligence reports, claiming that the Clinton campaign had been hacked and all this stuff. Noting that because I was a cybersecurity reporter for several years. I was the tech editor. I covered a lot of that stuff. If you dug into the cyber reports, the analysis alleging that a cyber attack took place on their, the DNC and Clinton campaign servers and all that stuff, which, hey, by the way, Seth Rich, they're not going to release his information for 66 years. The DNC staffer who died under what I would call really mysterious circumstances or suspicious circumstances, who is the suspected leaker popularly, although we have no evidence suggesting that just yet. The thing they used to try to fabricate, in my opinion, that a cyber attack took place was the most ridiculous report I've ever read. Rather than show evidence of a cyber attack, what that report did was explain how cyber attacks work in general. And I guarantee, 99% of people reading those documents would never put two and two together on that. I only knew it because I covered cybersecurity and I read cyber attack reports all the time. Because remember, we had like LulzSec, which was that hacker group went after people. There was Anonymous, the hacker group. And of course, I was researching Chinese hacking groups and so on. And so I was reporting on these things, and I was very closely following a lot of these reports. The report they had on that did not show at all evidence of a cyber attack. And I was like, wait, there's no evidence of a cyber attack. How are the intelligence agencies telling us these documents, the hacking of the DNC servers and so on, right? And the Clinton emails, they claim they were hacked. How is it a cyber attack and they're saying it's a cyber attack if there's no evidence whatsoever presented here? Not only that, but this is the most misleading document I think I'd ever read at that time. And I noted that in a report. This looks like a disinformation campaign. The editors, we talked about you can't just say that outright because people at this point believe in this. You have to explain it to them. And so that resulted in the three of us actually co-authoring an article detailing Spygate, what would become the Spygate investigations. And as we looked deeper into the whole Spygate case, it was like a light bulb went off. Oh man, this thing is huge. We ran into a problem of it was a scandal involving 70 something different moving parts, and we had a conflict of how do you write an investigative article explaining something so vast with so many individuals when each individual had a role that was intertwined with so many other parts of the picture. And we had to think out of the box, and that resulted in the infographic we did, which was the Spygate infographic, which was actually an investigative piece presented as an infographic, because we realized that was the only way you could really tell a story like that. Alongside that, we did publish a written investigative article, which was like 5,000 or 7,000 words long or something crazy like that. And the rest is history. Of course, we were attacked. I was personally defamed. Epoch Times was censored because we reported the truth on it. But here we are on a day of justice. Not justice quite yet, but hey, it's good enough for me, at least for now. Hey, hopefully people will be held to account. So cheers, everyone.